want a choice, a chance.
There's your chance. Take it.
Grateful.
The day will come when you won't be.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Back again with another throwback review. This is going to be for Season 3, Episode 13, entitled Arrow on the Doorpost. Alright, Rick enters a barn in an abandoned feed store while Daryl and Herschel stand guard outside. The governor steps out of the shadows. We have a lot to talk about, he says. The governor removes his pistol and his belt that holds the pistol, like his utility belt or whatever you want to call it, inviting Rick to do the same. Rick holsters his gun but stays standing. Taped under the table on the governor's side is a Glock pistol, so that's kind of governor is not taking no chances. Milton, Andrea, and Martinez arrive. Andrea realizes that the meeting has started without her. She strides in and tries to mediate, but Rick and the governor ignore her. I heard about the raids, the heads, Maggie, Rick says, glaring at the governor. Outside, Milton introduces himself as the governor's advisor. Daryl and Martinez eye each other aggressively. At the prison, Glenn gives orders to fortify their position. Merle suggests they ambush the governor, but Glenn shuts it down, not wanting to risk putting Rick, Daryl, and Herschel in the crossfire. Back at the barn, Rick hands the governor a map. Woodbury takes the west of the river. Prison takes the east, he proposes. The governor laughs at Rick's proposal and demands his surrender. Andrea tries to calm them down, but the governor orders her out, to which Rick agrees they need to speak in private. Rick challenges the governor's leadership. You're the town drunk who knocked over my fence and ripped up my yard. Nothing more. The governor asks if Rick ever misjudged someone, referring to Judas' unknown paternity and accusing Rick of failing to see the devil beside you. Rick replies, I see him all right, referring to the governor. Outside, Milton scribbles in a notebook explaining he's making a record of events post-apocalypse. A small group of walkers approach. Daryl, Andrea, and Martinez take turns killing them, competing in their combat skills. Afterwards, Daryl and Martinez share cigarettes taken from a walker's pocket. Martinez calls the governor's meeting a joke. They'll do their little dance, he says, but eventually they'll give the word. Milton and Herschel bond as well, as Milton questions Herschel about how he staved off walker infection by amputating his leg. Meanwhile, the governor explains he'll look weak if he leaves Rick's group alone. He said, that's your problem. The governor then shares a story about the day his wife died in a car crash. She had left him a message on his voicemail asking him to call her back. I sat there clutching the phone thinking, what does she want? The governor says, smirking as Rick becomes visibly rattled. At the prison, Merle packs a duffel bag full of guns and announces his plan to kill the governor. This guy cops a feel of your woman and you pussy out like this, Merle asks when Glenn tries to stop him. The two brawl in which Maggie and Michonne intervene while Beth ends the fight by firing a single shot in the air without saying a word. Andrea privately asks Herschel what the governor did to Maggie. He's a sick man, Herschel replies. Andrea despairs and says she can't go back to Woodbury. Herschel agrees that she belongs at the prison, but if you join us, it's settled, he warns. The governor tells Rick that between the size of his army and the combat readiness of Rick's group, the fight between Woodbury and the prison will come down to the last man. Then he offers Rick a deal. He said, I want Michonne. He says as he shows his damaged eye to Rick, turn her over and all this goes away. At the prison, Merle tries to enlist Michonne on his assassination mission. Michonne hears him out but declines. Maggie joins Glenn on the loading dock. He apologizes for his recent behavior and abandons his guard post to have sex. Meanwhile, Rick asks the governor why he wastes his time on a personal vendetta, then wonders if he can even trust the governor to honor his end of the deal. The governor gives Rick 2 days to decide. Then the governor, Milton, and Martinez get in their truck and leave. Andrea joins them. Back in Woodbury, the governor gives instructions to surround the feed store and kill everyone except Michonne when the time comes. What about the deal? Milton asks. We're going to have to eliminate Rick sooner or later, the governor reasons. No way we can all live side by side. Rick's group returns to the prison where Rick debriefs everyone. He wants us dead for what we did to Woodbury. He says, we're going to war. Rick privately tells Herschel about the governor's offer for Rick to hand over Michonne, explaining he lied to the others and so they'd be scared enough to accept it. She earned her place, Herschel says of Michonne. Rick asks if Herschel would sacrifice his daughter's lives for Michonne's. Why are you telling me? Herschel asks. Because I'm hoping you can talk me out of it, Rick replies. And that's how the episode ends. So yeah, it was kind of a slower episode. It was just Rick and Governor talking pretty much the whole episode. Not a whole lot of action. I know this episode gets a lot of flack because it was, kind of hyped up the week before that these two were coming face to face, and we thought something was going to go down, but all they did was really just talk it out. And I know a lot of people didn't like this episode. I thought it was all right. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. So, but yeah, all in all, that's all I gotta say about that one. So this has been my review for season 3, episode 13, entitled "Arrow on the Doorpost," and I'll be back soon with another video.
Welcome to Woodbury.
Pushing our pants yet?